And welcome. My name is Wendy, and this is Midweek Meditation. And I had a little epiphany today about changing the name, and I'll tell you about that in a second. Um, I want to acknowledge the land that I'm on, which is the ancestral land of the Ramaytush people, and in Redwood City, where I live, the Lamchin tribe lived in this area. If you want to say anything about where you're from, you can put it in the chat and I'll look at it later. And if you want to tell me where you're watching from, if you're watching the live stream or the recording, go to my website, wendielash.com, and also happy to answer any questions. So welcome. Today we're going to be doing a guided breath meditation. And I had a premonition last month. I said, I think we're just going to breathe all month. And that's kind of what's coming to me to offer. But I had this morning as I was preparing and doing some research for what I wanted to share with you, I realized that when I think of, and maybe when others think of meditation, they think, okay, we're going to sit. And this has really evolved into something which has certainly there's the chanting in it and there's some teaching, but it feels to me like it's a mini retreat. So I'm thinking about changing the name to midweek or maybe just mini retreat. Because as I prepare for it, I feel like I'm getting ready to go on a retreat. So I thought I would share that with you. Go ahead and comment to me about what you think about that, either later if you're in the Zoom or in the chat, or you can email me and let me know. This week we are in the Jewish calendar, in the Jewish cycle. We have left all of the fall holidays and are moving into, we'll be in a new month soon, but right now we have started the cycle of the Torah, and this today and all through Saturday is the first beautiful book of the Torah, of Genesis, Breshit. And so I took some inspiration from that. And I love Genesis. It's just so beautiful and there's so much richness about it. And especially this first portion, which has been translated, I would say, not appropriately, in the beginning. And the reason is because in Hebrew, in the beginning would be ba reshit and not bereshit. So it's really in beginning. Some people have translated as God was about to create, but that feels like that's an awful lot. It's basically just in beginning. So to me, that brings to mind the sense of we don't have a beginning, we have many beginnings, we have lots of beginnings. And this is the story of beginning, of a beginning, and the fact that we begin over and over again. It's not the beginning, it's in beginning. That we are, as all creation, constantly evolving, constantly beginning. And also that also means that we're not ever complete, that we have to recognize our incompleteness and our desire to continue to evolve and grow. The other thing that jumped out at me as I was looking at the portion was the first thing that is created. Creation starts with the Hebrew word or, which is the word for light. And it's also a word that is associated with consciousness. And the Hebrew is, God in beginning. Well, actually, I have the Hebrew here, but I'm not going to look at it. But it's Yehi Or. So Yud Hey, that four-letter word of God, which is Yud Hey Vav Hey, the name of God that we talk about, is everything that is, everything that will be, everything that was. This is one of those roots. So Yehi Or. And it gets translated as let there be light. I would say that it's really more appropriate to say there is light, there is or. Um, and then it says, and God, oh, I better look it up because I can't remember it. Uh, yeah, it says Elohim said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And the Hebrew is Vayomer Elohim Yehi Or V'Yehi Or. So it's not "Let there be light," and there was light. It is there is light, there is light, and there is light, and there is light. So there is light and there is consciousness there, like the awareness of or allows or to be. The awareness of our breath allows us to inhabit our breath. The awareness of our consciousness allows us to be more conscious. And so I think it's a great meditative metaphor, that one of these early lines in the first portion of the Torah. And that awareness of the light preceded the creation of the light is one way to interpret this, that we become aware and then we create that which we become aware of. And this is a great metaphor for meditation. We are training the mind to become aware so that we can create our experience in a more friendly, loving, compassionate way. But until we are aware of the experience that we're having, we can't actually work with it. The creation story unfolds after Yehi Or. And so we have light consciousness as the first creation. Then we have distinctions that are created, night and day. Then distinctions of the planet, the sea, the land, the vegetation, distinctions in the heavens, in the sky, the sun, the moon, and the stars, creatures in the water, creatures that fly, finally land animals. And then the very last thing is Adam, is man. Um, and Adam and Adama is a word for soil. That there's two creation stories in Genesis. The first doesn't really talk about this, but the second time that God creates Adam, the soil is collected, and that is how Adam, how man, how humankind is created. So we are part of the soil. We are formed from the soil. We are the earth. We are part of the earth. The earth is part of us. It's a beautiful teaching. And to think about how our breath is part of the ecosystem of, we breathe in the oxygen that is created by plants, and we breathe out carbon dioxide that is breathed in by the plants to do their respiration. So we are absolutely intimately connected and part of the cycle of the earth. The Baal Shem Tov, the founder of Hasidism, said and taught that each day the world is created anew. There's the in beginning. It's not the beginning, it's every day. And that we should, each of us, feel as if we're created anew every morning. What a wonderful way to wake up. And here I am, I'm alive. So maybe we'll spend a little bit more time on that thread next week. But I wanted to share that with you. And today, as we return to meditating with the breath and seeing how the breath invites us to a deeper place, a place of being more conscious. I also want us to feel that connection, that animation that is renewing in us in every breath, as well as that sense of, because the life force is flowing in us, the opposite of the flow is blockage. So we want to become aware of anywhere that we have a blockage. We want to notice that. We want to invite the breath to flow into that area. And in a metaphorical way, we want to invite in, emotionally and psychologically, where are the blockages in us to not feel the blessing of every moment being renewed and created. So that's what I'm hoping we will be doing together today. The flow is I'll do a chant. The meditation will be mostly guided on the breath. In a little bit of meditation, and then I'm going to read something by Rabbi Arthur Waskow, who is has been for decades leading the sense of our call to respond to and take care of the planet in a better way, especially as Jews. And then a little bit more guided breath meditation. I'll use the wake up bell to go between any sections so that you're not jarred too much. And then at the very end, I'll end with a gong. And then I have a very tiny little poem by wonderful David White, again, a different poem. So that's our plan. That's my plan for our time together for the next half hour. All right. So the chant today is by a group called Beautiful Chorus, and it's about breathing. And I assume everybody can hear me okay. Yes? All right. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Let it go. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Let it go. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Let it go. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Let it go. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Let it go. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Let it go. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Let it go. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Let it go. Breathing in and breathing out. Feeling the breath in your body. Shifting the attention to the body. Noticing anywhere you might need to stretch or move in order to sit comfortably for the next 25 minutes. Feeling your sits bones rooted down in the chair. The spine nice and long. Feet planted on the ground or in a nice cross-legged position if that's more comfortable. Noticing each breath coming into the body and each breath as it exits. Sinking in a little bit deeper inward with each inhale and with each exhale. Feeling the softness in the front of the body as the belly expands, as the lungs expand, and feeling the strength in the back, in the spine. We hold both soft front and strong back in our bodies. The ability to be vulnerable and to be strong at the same time. Follow your breath as it comes into the body to its very last moment and that point before, and then let it exit and follow it to its end. And notice that point as you inhale again, that point of stillness between the inhale and the exhale. And as you breathe, think about breathing into your length of your body, from the top of your head down to the sits bones, and maybe even out through the legs and the feet. Inhabiting dignity with each breath in and each breath out. And on your next inhale, noticing the movement front to back as the breath helps you expand and as you contract as the breath exits. Noticing the front to back movement of expansion and contraction. Letting the breath honor our movement and who we are. And we notice the third direction of the breath. As we breathe in, we notice side to side our width and any expansion that happens there. And as we exhale, noticing the contraction in our width. So as we breathe and we put attention to the side to side waking up, we honor our taking our rightful space, our rightful place, that we fully inhabit our body, left to right, front to back, up and down. And even when we contract, we come back with the next breath, fully inhabiting our rightful place, fullness of our experience. And the side to side breath also reminds us of being in community with one another, with the world. We imagine others on either side of us, even in a virtual meditation, knowing that there are other creatures, other people that we inhabit the planet with. And a little intention for this, taking a few minutes with this breathing from Rabbi Arthur Waskow. In the beginning, darkness covered the face of the deep. Then the rushing breath of life hovered over the waters. Let us breathe together. Let us catch our breaths from the need to make, to do. Let us be conscious of the breath of life. We breathe out what the trees breathe in. We breathe in what the trees breathe out. Together we breathe each other into life. Blessed is the one within the many. Blessed are the many who make the one. So take a few minutes to be with your breath and that intention, that kavanah. And notice where the breath is flowing and anywhere that it might be blocked. And that can be a physical place, an emotional orientation, a noticing of the mind. So I invite you to notice again the breath. If you were taken away by your thoughts, and notice its flow in you, breathing in and receiving, breathing out and letting go. And in this section of our breath meditation, actually inviting in the thoughts, noticing them. So we follow the breath. And then when we notice a thought, we think about what is that thought? Where is my mind being attracted? And then let it go and return to following the breath, following the inhale and following the exhale. And then when you notice the mind has drifted away from following the breath, what was the thought? What grabbed your attention? So we use the breath to focus, and then we mindfully become aware of where does our mind go. And we'll take a few minutes to sit in this way. For this last section of our meditation on the breath, We want to see if we can rest in and connect to our sense of beingness with each breath instead of doingness. So start with the breath as you breathe in and breathe out, and see if you can let go of the need to do anything or to think anything. So as you inhale and exhale, we let go and empty, staying as focused on the breath and just being one with the breath as we can. See if you can catch even a split second when you sense your simple beingness, you and the breath. The breath is you. It may be during the in-breath or the out-breath. It may be in that momentary pause between the in and the out. And as the mind wanders, as it will, as you try to do this practice, when you notice it, simply let go of the thought and return your focus to beingness, to being with the breath. The very short poem I want to leave us with is called Enough by David White from his book of poetry, Where Many Rivers Meet. I'll say it twice because it's really short. Enough. These few words are enough. If not these words, this breath. If not this breath, this sitting here. This opening to the life we have refused again and again until now. Until now. Enough. These few words are enough. If not these words, this breath. If not this breath, this sitting here. This opening to the life we have refused again and again until now. Until now. So I thank you for your presence and your practice, and the source of all, the oneness that we all belong to that is uniquely in me, honors that which is uniquely in all of you. And we are all made in the image of that divine creative force, Yah. B'Tselem Yah. You are made in the image of Yah. And have a beautiful week.